Hey guys, welcome back. Today I will be showing you how to connect to the my MS Learn MCP server straight from Copilot Studio. And how we will be doing this is using a custom connector, which we will dive into later. But first and foremost, let's just start with the key capabilities of the MCP server, Microsoft Learn MCP server. So you actually get high quality content retrieval. What does this mean? This means that for each search you retrieve the relevant content, and you actually get optimized chunking, which returns up to 10 high quality content chunks with an upper limit of maximum 500 tokens each. And also, most important of all, you get real-time updates, because compared to just connecting to the public website in Copilot Studio, which gets being indexed, and the Bing index is being used and updated once in a while, and that doesn't give you real-time updates. But in the MCP server, you actually get real-time updates. Last but not least, you actually have the semantic understanding. So this uses advanced vector search and gives you the most contextually relevant documentation for any query from the user in Copilot Studio. So that's it. Here we have the endpoint here, which is learn.com API MCP server. So let's jump over to Copilot Studio. So I already created an agent using the agent, not the agent builder, sorry. I used the Copilot generative builder to create this agent. And here I have the instructions. I have the generative orchestration on, as you can see, and my response model is GPT-4o. I could have chosen GPT 4.1, but that's still in preview in our case here. So I will go with GPT-4o, which is the default, of course. And the knowledge sources should be here. So I could also turn on web search, but for this case, I just want to show you how to connect to the Microsoft Learn MCP server. So let's jump over to this add a tool. So tools in AI agents, as most of you probably know, are the I usually think of them as your hands. They do the things for you. They retrieve information from somewhere. They send an email, as you can see here, and you can use the planner, OneDrive for Business. So if I look into the Office 365 Outlook actions, I can see all the Power Automate actions here. So the tools can actually send an email for me. They can get information from an API for me. And in this case, we will be using the model context protocol here. And as per now, we have these MCP servers, but we don't have the MCP server for the Microsoft Learn documentation. So I would just create a new tool. And here you can create a prompt, which is very useful if you are going to create your own use your own models from Foundry. I have a video on that you can watch later. And now we will focus on custom connectors. So once you choose custom connectors, you will be sent to another page where you will be prompted to create the custom connector. This is the make.powerapps.com, so it's the homepage, and now I need to create a custom connector. A custom connector is in Power Apps a connector that gives you access to a REST API or a SOAP API. In this context, we will be using the MCP server, but usually we do have around 1400 out-of-the-box connectors. But for some reasons, if you don't have a connector, you can create your own custom connector, and you can create from blank. You can import from GitHub. But in this context, we will import an open API file, which I will also share with you. So this connector will be Microsoft Learn MCP server, and I will import the file. And this file, I will show you the content in the file. So let's see, a lot of stuff on my desktop, but quickly to Copilot Studio here, and I have the MCP servers, and I have the MS Learn MCP YAML file. So put it in here and continue. So once you're here, you will be prompted to create the connector, or you can do the security here. You can do the definition. You have AI plugins which can be added. You can see the code here, and you can also test the connector. But I will just create it in this video. But we can dive deeper into the rest of it. So I create the connector. And once the connector is created, we can go back to Copilot Studio and test it. But before doing that, let me share with you how the OpenAPI specification looks. So here you see the information, the title is Microsoft Learn, description is the Microsoft Learn documentation. You see where the API is hosted, and not the this is the host, and you can also see that this API or this MCP server uses the HTTPS protocol, and also you can see the path to the API MCP. And also this is important because we are using the MCP streamable. That means we will be streaming content into Copilot Studio, and this is very important because Copilot Studio will be using real-time data from the Microsoft Learn documentation. And this is an operation ID for Power Platform to just have an ID to connect to this call, this post API call to the MCP server. And if the response is 200, everything is successful as we would want it to be. So let's go back here, and the connector is created. As you can see here, get invoke MCP and invoke MCP. So that's it for the custom connector. So I will just jump back to my Copilot Studio agent, refresh, and go to model context protocol. Let's see. So this one should be here. As you can see here, we have the out of the box MCP server. So let me just search for the Learn, and I assume there is my Microsoft Learn MCP API, and I could just connect to it. So I don't have any connection yet, so I will just have to create a new connection and then connect to the MCP server. And what you want to do here is either add to agent and start using it, but then you will be using your credentials. Let's just add and configure to see actually how you will be able to configure this MCP server later. So jumping into this, yes, and now you can actually see the MCP server details, and here you have the additional details, which actually is quite important because you can choose your authentication here. So do you want the end users to sign in with their credentials, or do you want to use the agent tool owner's credentials? So in this context, I will just use since I'm the only one using it, I will just pass through so that we don't have to sign in while using it. And here you can see the tools inside your MCP server. So here we have the MCP docs search, and searches official Microsoft Azure documentation to find the most relevant and contextual information. So let's save, and now let's do the testing. So let's ask a fun question. How do I connect to an MCP server in Copilot Studio? So what I expect would happen here is that the session is started and my tool is being used in the MCP server. And as you can see here, I can see the question, which is the query being sent over to my MCP server, and my answers are here. So I do get some answers, and I can see the content, where the content is coming from. And here is the explanation. Create a new agent, as we did, and then we add tools. From the tools, we select modern context protocol and add to agents. So that's it for today, and you can now connect to the MS Learn server and have real-time information documentation from the MS Learn.